She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Barbie, Chloe, period I, period 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 period I, got my name up in your mouth, you don't know no better. Don't forget I'm from the south, yeah, I got them headers. You watching everything I do, studying all of my moves. Wish you could do what I do. Period I, period period I, period period I, period period I, period.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hello, chat. Hello, Jewel, Tampa Supreme, Isaac Ford. Guys, man, we got to get into this. I've actually had a viewer who has wanted me to talk about and speak on the Passport Bros for quite some time. And I didn't really want to get into it, y'all, because it's a little bit of a controversy topic. But, you know, I'm here for the controversy. I love controversy. That's my career. Controversy, argument, debate, litigation. So let's get into it, y'all. But before we get into this crazy story, I need to give you guys kind of like a background of this tragedy, because people probably don't even know who the Passport Bros are. Some people are like, who in the heck is the Passport Bros? So let's get into this, y'all. So before we get into anything, let's talk about who they are. So this whole Passport Bros started back in the day. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but sometimes I just wish I was a kid again. Okay, anyways, let's stop. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, so there was this whole phenomenon that I feel developed after Kevin Samuels passed away. So Kevin Samuels, if anybody knows who he is, he was this controversial dude, older guy who went on YouTube, took the YouTube by storm because he said a lot of controversial things. I don't really want to get into his picture, but I'll use this picture for the new phenomenon. But there was this guy named Kevin Samuels. Actually, let me just give you a picture of Kevin Samuels before we get into this. But it started out with Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was not a passport bro, but he kind of started this whole phenomenon talking about women and how women are too picky, especially Black women. He kind of tore down Black women, made a complete fool out of Black women. I mean, y'all, he was clowning Black women. It was a hot mess. Just saying that Black women are too picky and that a lot of them are wasting away their prime years, you know, being so picky, criticizing men and not lowering their standards. And as they get older and as they start to have children, their value begins to dwindle. And so they're always constantly looking for these high value men. But what Kevin Samuels said is, you're not even good enough to have a high value man. That's basically what he was saying. He was saying, like, some women that have gotten older, when they start reaching their early 30s, late 30s, even like when you hit 28, I don't know which age it was, but he started to say that you're a wasted product. As painful as some of the things he said, it was like a blunt truth to some of the things that he's saying, because sometimes men really do look at superficial stuff like that. For example, they look at your age, they look at your looks, they look at very superficial stuff. Women, on the other hand, we're looking for what kind of career you have, you know, what's your personality, like, are you a kind, genuine man, so forth. But men, on the other hand, they're looking at your looks sometimes. I'm not saying all men, please don't get mad at me in the chat. I'm saying some men. Some men are looking at certain superficial things, like how the woman looks and her age. Is she childbearing age? Does she have kids? They're really looking at the external factors. So Kevin Samuels was kind of really shedding some harmful truths, but yet some toxic things he was saying. He would humiliate women, and it just created this group of toxic men in the Black community. And I don't know why, guys, but a lot of this toxicity really does kind of plague the Black community. I don't see a lot of the other ethnicities having these kind of ethnic gender wars that we see happening in the Black community. So it's very sad that it's happening. So it started with him, right? And, you know, some people were for him, even some women were supporting him. When he passed away, or I don't know when he passed away or at whatever time this started, this whole passport bro story, kind of this passport phenomenon kind of developed. But after he passed away, this new phenomenon kind of was birthed from that whole controversial situation with Kevin Samuels, and it was the passport bros. And this man on the screen is kind of considered the founder of the passport bros. His name is Austin something. They kind of consider him the passport bros because he kind of introduced the phenomenon. Some people argue that he's not the founder. Other people, you know, people have their own kind of controversial opinions, but most people say he's the guy who founded the whole phenomenon. And basically, this is just my opinion, but in my opinion, these are a lot of bitter men who fail to look at the issues inside of themselves. Yet they blame American women for saying that they're not able to find a woman in America. They say the women in America are not submissive, that these women, you know, they're not the stay-at-home submissive women that will stay in the kitchen, cook and clean for the, you know, they want that traditional wife. The issue is these men, a lot of these men are very toxic, abusive, womanizer men who don't treat these American women well. And so the women, you know, they're not going to put up with that. And so now we have a war between the genders in the Black community. The sad part is these men fail to look within themselves and change the toxic issues within themselves. Yet they think that they can search out into the world for some woman that meets their needs. So what they've done is said, we are going to abandon the American woman and we are going to travel out of the country and we're going to find these women in the more poor communities in different areas in the world who are the more submissive women. They are taught to be submissive, taught to be, you know, stay-at-home wives, cook, clean. That's how they're taught. But the issue with these men fail to realize, these passport men fail to realize, is they're the problem. They're the issue. So they go to these other countries thinking they're going to get these submissive women. And a lot of these women rebel against them just the same, because it's something within these men that are causing the external reactions they're getting. It's not necessarily the result of the women that they're seeing, because when they're going out in these other countries, a lot of these women are disrespecting them just as much as the other women. They claim they're getting respect, y'all, but I've seen some videos out there where some women were just either using them for money or, you know, not really responding to them the way they think they're going to get responded. There's another underlying hidden agenda, guys, that's going on in the Passport Bros organization. I call it organization. And the other underground issue is a lot of these men go to these other countries to use their money, because, you know, the American money travels very far and it has high value in these countries, right? So they use this money to, get, you know, physical interaction, you know what I mean? SEX, from younger underage women. Yeah, they're paying for the physical interactions, because a lot of these men are bitter, angry men, because the women in America have standards. Not all of them. Some of them, most of them have standards, and they're not going to be just giving you up their cookie just for the fun of it. So they're going to these other countries. They're paying for, you know what, with underage women, allegedly. These women are in their teens, under 18 years old. They're paying for, you know what, because in these countries, it's legal to get the cookie. I'm just going to call it the cookie, y'all, because y'all know we can't say this stuff on YouTube. It's legal for them to pay for cookie for underage women. Yeah, guys, it's sick, especially in Colombia. In Colombia, it's a huge, huge market of young girls selling their bodies for money. And so some of these, and not all of them, some of the passport bros are using their money going to Colombia to pay for the cookie for younger underage women. And y'all know what I mean by the cookie. You know what I mean? Y'all know. If y'all don't know, go look it up. I mean, having physical relations. So that has been an issue that's been going on in Colombia. A lot of these passport bros going there. And the thing is, it's the mental issue within these men. These men are wanting to get wants to have physical relations with these women without any effort put on their end, without respecting, without earning those type of, earning that from a woman, in terms of treating her right, getting in a relationship, doing the certain responsibilities you're supposed to do. They're frustrated with the women here in America. They have to work for it here in America. Not all the time, but most of the women here have value and qualities and criteria. And they're tired of that. So they feel like, oh, I'm going to these other countries. I can use my American dollars to pay for it with underage women. And so it's become such a huge issue because they market themselves on YouTube, social media, everywhere. So guess what happened, y'all? Some of these gangs and criminals in these other countries, particularly Colombia, caught wind of the large volume of American passport bros coming to Colombia to pay for underage, okay? So what they did is they developed these markets, these organizations where they use these women and, online. They have these online dating sites where these American men come there. They go on the dating sites. They pay for these women to come or whatever. They're going to pay these women to come to wherever they are, hotel rooms, you name it, and do the do. But since this is such a well-known issue, these criminals out here are using the women as bait. Yes, allegedly. They're using these women as bait to lure these passport bro men to pay for this, rendezvous. And they end up getting set the F up, y'all. Set up. These men are being drugged. These men, like some of these women are giving them drinks that have, drugs in it or whatever. And then these men are being overdosed on stuff and they end up dying because of that. Some men have been brutally, physically beaten to death. At least 8 of these men have been unalived in Colombia. And it has been so bad, y'all. The U.S. Embassy has now gotten involved. That's how bad it's gotten. They are taking these passport bros completely out. So it's like these men thought that they can travel into other countries thinking that they're going to get some women out there to be submissive and all that, when reality is they're targets in these other countries. They're endangering themselves. Instead of looking within themselves to change the issues that are plaguing themselves, they are thinking that they can go to these other countries, y'all, and pay for what, and get it nice and easy and not have to work for anything. So let's get into this, y'all. This is some crazy mess. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this, but it's crazy. Now, there's an article kind of give us a background first on the passport bros before we get into the recent article that is talking about what is happening with these men being unalived. They have warned these American men not to go back to Colombia to market and pay for, and solicit or whatever for paid rendezvous, because they're saying it's dangerous over there. They have complete organizations that are marketed to target these men, and they're using these young girls as bait. Okay, straight bait. So anyway, let's go into why the passport bros kind of developed. So because the US dollar reigns supreme and Americans who travel abroad get to enjoy certain luxuries that they wouldn't if they were at home. Let's take the alpha passport bro Austin Abayet, I can't say that man's name, aka Digital Bromart, for example. On social media, this is Austin. He's like the founder. This man is so cringy too, y'all. Austin, get on my last nerve. Anyway, he offers his 400,000 followers. Now, back in the day when he first started, he had a very small YouTube. I actually kind of watched him develop, and he pretty much developed into this kind of the next Kevin Samuels, but on a different level, different kind of stream of toxicity, So now he has 400,000 followers. And basically, according to him, there's plenty of benefits of dating abroad, one of which is a lower cost of living. Okay, yeah, there's a lower cost of living, guys, and the money does, you can use the money really well in these other countries, but you're a target there. You're always at risk of being, targeted, robbed, you name it, poisoned. And then if you are unalived over there, it's hard they're not going to really investigate your death. So now your death is a mystery and you don't really have much protection there. So if you make about $60,000 a year, this is kind of their idea, guys. You can live like you made $120,000 a year pretty comfortably. The popular passport bro said in May 2023, TikTok. The things money can provide make a huge difference in a dating. And he said, watch The Tinder Swindler. It'll explain it all, Austin added, referring to the true crime documentary on Netflix. Another upside to international matchmaking per Austin is the locals' attraction to his exotic American accent. Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. I'm so exhausted by Austin. He is so cringy. He's the type of dude look like a lot of American women probably would be repulsed by him. So he had to travel out the country just to get some action. You know what I mean? He says the American accent is kind of trash, to be honest. But the fact that you have one peppers your words and gives everything you say a little bit of weight, a little bit of spice, Austin said in the video. It makes it more exciting. Oh my gosh. Why do so many people hate the passport bros? While Austin's fellow bros would probably agree that the TikToker is out here living his best life, others believe that the movement is problematic. And Austin actually got into some trouble, y'all. He was out here talking about, Brazil and saying stuff about how easy the women were over there. And Brazilians caught wind of it, and guys, they really went off on him. They basically was telling him he shouldn't come back to Brazil because of it. The problem of passport bros is that they believe geography somehow bends and warps female nature. Women are women everywhere, Twitter user said. In fact, given the dynamics of the third world, the women in those countries are even more cutthroat, and they simply hid it behind a veneer of femininity. Exactly. He's right. This guy's right. Ernesto Antunes says, he's right. A lot of these women in other countries, you better have money. That's really what they're all about. They talk about American women being gold diggers, but in a lot of these other countries, they're just the same. Like, you got to have, they're not, well, they probably are just the same. You got to have money. You can't just come. They're not even really looking at anything else, but do you have money? Okay. Can you provide? Can you, sustain a household? That's what their main priority is. So it's like these men think they can go to these other countries and get something different, but no, not really. In fact, you get a whole lot more danger. Your life is possibly in danger as well. The movement has been widely likened to sex tourism. Like I was telling you, a lot of these men just want to go there and get easy lay, using their money to pay for it over there, and underage women. So look at this, not to mention the legal age to consent in other countries can be as young as 13 years old, y'all. A lot of these men are allegedly pedophiles. They're pedos, allegedly. That's sick. That is sick that these men are going to these other countries just to get underage women. That is disgusting. Wow. It's just wow. Plus, a lot of the passport bros have been caught on camera being mad disrespectful to natives. Right. So it's like there's issues within themselves, guys. They're over here being disrespectful to these women. The toxicity within them, they're just taking it with them to these other countries, thinking that these women are so docile and so submissive that they're just going to accept their toxic ways. That's what they think. Instead of looking within themselves and changing the issues that maybe American women have said about them when in their relationships with them, they're like, oh, forget it. The American women are the issues. We're going to go to other countries and we're going to treat those women just as bad and they're going to accept it. Boy, bye. Boy, completely bye. You think you can go to another country in their territory, treat them like sex objects, because that's basically what they're doing for money. And they think these women are going to bow down to them. No. And especially the men in those countries aren't going to have it either. Okay, they're not going to have these American men coming over there taking their women. You think they like that? No, which is why 8 of them have been unalived already. As sad as it is, and may they rest in peace. It's hard to tell why the sex fap movement has received so much backlash, but that hasn't stopped the bros from booking a flight overseas for love, or at the very least, a good time, if you know what I mean. I don't even think these passport bros, a lot of them are even going to look for love. Most of these men are players, y'all, in America, and they got cussed out by some American women because they weren't going to put up with their mess, y'all. So they thought they was going to go to another country and these women were going to just take it and just be submissive. No, boo-boo, no. They went to these other countries and a lot of them just want to get laid. Yeah, I said it correctly. A lot of them just want to get laid by underage girls. And they're using the American money that travels far and wide and has a lot of value in these countries and carries a heavy weight in these countries. They're taking that money and they're using it to exploit these young, vulnerable women who come from very impoverished communities. But what has happened is, guys, a whole new organization has developed. And it's the anti-passport bro organizations in these different countries, and in particular, Colombia. Okay. And that's why we have 8 bros who have been unalived. This is serious, guys. This is so serious, and it's not a game. These men need to really, really, really stop and think. Stop and think and really use some common sense before they continue these dangerous escapades. And the fact that they have announced their presence to the world has put these criminals on watch for them and has made them a very dangerous target. And I'm kind of sad because a lot of them are African-American men, and African-American men are already targeted in America. We know that, right? They're targeted by everybody. They're targeted within the Black community itself by other Black people because of Black folks killing Black folks. We already know that. They're targeted by the police. They're targeted by other ethnicities. I'm just saying, it's just the Black man is one of the most endangered ethnic groups in the world. Okay. And now you go and travel out of the country only to be unalived again in other countries. It's like, guys, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So I've seen this floating around, guys, on social media, and it really perked my ears and my awareness, because I'm like, wow, guys, wow. These are the same bros just years ago who have trash talked Black women, who have trash talked American women, who have down talked Black or American women saying they're not submissive and they don't know how to cook and they don't know how to be a wife. But the reason why we see these issues with these men, you can't blame an American woman, because I see these same American women submitting to other ethnic groups. Some of these Black women get married to white men or Hispanic men, and they're submitting to these men. So I had to ask myself, well, what's the difference? Because I see these same women that they're trash talking, submitting to other men, yet they won't submit to these alleged bitter passport men. And I had to think about it, and I saw that it really was the issues within these men. A lot of them don't want to respect women's boundaries. They want to have things easy. They don't want to work for things. Back in the day, men used to pursue women. Men used to respect women. They came to the women with something on the table. They knew that they had to have some type of benefit to provide the household, such as financial support, you name it. And a lot of these women back in the day, they were submissive, they were cooking, they were cleaning. And eventually, that happened with the whole war. And then eventually women became independent and they educated themselves and so forth. You guys know the history. But the reality is, these men are the issue. Because why is it, guys, that they're going to these other countries and these women are not responding to them the way they claim that they want women to treat them? Why would, and these women in other countries are pretty much from birth taught to be submissive wives, cook, clean, and everything. But when the passport bros show up, they don't really have much respect for these men. So why? Why, guys? Why? Obviously, there's an issue. Obviously. So I'm going to see what you guys have to say before we get into this article, y'all. It's just crazy. Susu said they look like clowns. I'm telling you, I had to keep my mouth shut. Keep my mouth shut and look and listen, because I said time will tell. Jules says sat across the board, but that grass isn't greener. Girl, it is not. It is not. Area says they are predators. I hope their passports are banned. Okay. Okay. So anyways, this article has come out and it said that the 8 passport bros were unalived in Colombia in the past 3 months, guys. The past 3 months. That is alarming. Like you can see this picture says it all. You got this man out here thinking, oh, I'm going to leave you Black American women who haven't submitted to me. You got kids out here crying. I'm going to go here to go to a greener pastures, thinking they're going to come and have a best life. And their lives are being cut short. So a growing number, guys, of men are traveling to these foreign countries to meet, quote unquote, submissive women who are less expensive and not too demanding. You see those key words there? They want a woman who is submissive, who is not too demanding, who doesn't have any standards, boundaries about herself. She will just accept any and everything from this man as long as he has money. That's what they think these foreign women are, as sad as it is, which is not even really the true case. I don't know why they thought that, but anyway, they think they're going to go to these other countries. They don't have to work too much as long as they have the American dollar. The term passport bros first appeared on TikTok and refers to men who use dating apps for hookups with women in other countries. Authorities say at least 25. Oh my God, y'all. Guys, look at this. This is alarming. At least 25 passport bros, y'all, were killed. 25. My God. I thought it was just 8. Guys, 25 passport bros at least were killed last year in Medellin, Colombia in 2023. 4 Americans were killed in Medellin in November alone. Oh my God, guys, let's back up and digest that real quick. This is alarming, guys. Last year, 25 at least tells us that there's probably more than 25 that were unalived last year, but they can at least count to 25 that were unalived. And 4 were killed in November alone. Guys, I told you, this is a gang agenda out in Colombia that are targeting passport bros because they're going online trying to search for these underage women for sex. Now, that's crazy, guys. 25 were unalived last year, 4 alone in November. Now, just in 2024, the past 3 months, that's probably dating back to December too, as well, if you want to use 3 months. And November, 8 passport bros were unalived just in 3 months, and 25 in last year. Guys, that's scary. That's a lot of men. Wow. 25, y'all. Oh my God. Let's read that again. Authorities say at least 25 passport bros. The authorities already know about the passport bros. That's the FBI and everybody else, guys. Law enforcement are saying that 25 passport bros were unalived in Medellin, Colombia in 2024. Wow. 4 Americans were killed in Medellin in November alone. Dang, y'all, this is some crazy stuff. And a lot of these are Black people. Here's one of them. This man right here on the screen was unalived in Colombia. He's a passport bro. Now, he is 59-year-old Gregory Stewart Owens. That was pictured. He is a part of the Passport Bro organization, and he was looking for love in Colombia when he was gunned down in the streets of Cartagena during a robbery just October 2023, y'all. This is very alarming. These passport bros really need to do some self-reflection. Can you believe that this 59-year-old man gunned down in October? Owens was robbed of all of his belongings, including his watch and a gold chain around his neck. Owens' family finally received his body in Chattanooga, Tennessee, 2 weeks after he was unalived. The U.S. State Department helped the family to cut through the red tape to bring his remains home. Dang. These passport bros think they live in rich and glamorous, coming with their American dollars, sporting their gold chains and watches. thinking they're God's gift to mankind in these other countries. And God, these Colombia men are taking them out. He was gunned down. One of the 25 men that were unalived in Colombia. That is crazy. Wow. And the thing is, you see the repercussions that happen with these men's families, because now these men's families have to pay all these fees to get their body back. And the investigation, the authorities in these other countries are not going to be doing any investigations. So we know his death is going to remain a mystery. Here is another man, another passport bro here on the screen is Johnny Jerome. He is 45 years old. And he was found deceased in a jacuzzi in a luxury hotel suite in Medellin on November 2nd of last year. He was unalived the day after celebrating his birthday with a cousin and two men he met on a dating app in Colombia. And that's what they do, guys. When they get to Colombia, all these passport bros, they go on these dating apps trying to solicit these younger girls to pay for, what, and they have them come to their luxury hotels or whatever. And they don't realize that these young ladies are just pawns in a bigger, higher organization of, criminals who target these men. And this man ended up dead in his jacuzzi. The cousin is still alive. The cousin was sitting there in a hotel. He came out to find his cousin dead on his birthday, y'all. On his birthday. Oh my God. 45-year-old man gone. Now, Philip Mullins, he is 32 years old, and he is from Tennessee. He is a Tennessee man that was found dead in a room at the upscale 1 million suite hotel in Medellin after a night out. Look at that, with a woman. All these stories seem to be connected with a woman. Guys, they thought that American women were bad. They had so much things to say about the Black American woman and all this stuff, right? But these foreign women are out here taking their lives. You complain about a Black woman not being submissive, but you have these foreign women setting you up to be unalived. Which one you think is worse? Being unalived or having a woman in America who just wants you to respect her and treat her right, and maybe she will consider to submit to you if you just treat her right and bring something to the table, but you don't want to work for it. You want to just sit there and get yourself laid free with your American dollars. That's what you want. You want these Black women to stop having standards and just lay down and give you the cookie just for a few dollars. Okay. So it's like, which one would you want, guys? You want some woman that you have to work for, get, a woman of standards in class, that you at least humble yourself to work with her and she may eventually submit? Or do you want to go to another country to pay to get laid and get unalived and not even get what you paid for anyway because you're about to be unalived and robbed? Come on now. They're getting 10 times worse. They're getting taken out of this world, robbed or taken out of this complete world. Okay? It's like, really think about it. Taken out. So Philip Mums, he is 32. He's the third guy. He was found deceased in his luxury hotel, out with the woman, right? Minnesota. Now this is another guy. Minnesota comedian Tao Jur Zong, a high school valedictorian, was found deceased on December 11th in a ravine after he met a woman for a date. Guys, I'm telling you, all these passport bros. Zong is 45, and this is sad how he died, y'all. He was beaten to death with a blunt object. Oh my God, that is a horrible way to go out, to get beat to death, man. To be honest, I don't want nobody to die, but if you had to choose your fate, I'd rather be drugged than be beat to death with a blunt object. That is a very horrible way to go out. This man was beaten to death after some woman he had met online. And this is a woman he had been dating. I think he was in a relationship with her or something, the foreign woman. There are 4 people, guys, 4 additional people, including a minor, were arrested and charged in Zong's murder. Look at, including a minor. Look at that right there. These men are out here trying to get these young women using the American dollars. And look at this organization. Four of them, 4 people, including a minor, were arrested for this man's death. It's an entire team of Colombians targeting these passport bros. They think they're just online searching for one woman, but these behind the screen, there's a whole group of other gang people who are involved in robbing and unaliving these passport bros, guys. This is alarming. This is alarming. They think that they're leaving America for greener pastures, and they're leaving America getting unalived, beaten to death, robbed. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. My God, this is, I'm flabbergasted. This man was beat to death with a blunt object. Now, on November 13th, Texas resident Jeffrey Hudson, 55 years old, was found dead in his hotel room with at least 20 stab wounds to his neck. To his neck, y'all. These men are being, my God, they're being brutally murdered. And imagine you're thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away from America, and you're in this foreign country in their territory. You have no power. Even authorities aren't on your side. Nobody in that country is on your side. And the U.S. Embassy is nowhere to be found. And you have no power, and you think you're meeting some woman for a rendezvous using your American cheap dollars, because you know they're not paying much. They're paying little scraps of bread for whatever they think they're going to get, right? Only to get beaten to death, stabbed to death, all this stuff. This is drugged. Wow, this man was stabbed at least 20 times in the neck. That is horrible, horrible. Hudson was killed after returning to his hotel suite. Look at this, with an 18-year-old woman. At least she was 18, but with an 18-year-old woman he met on a dating app in Medellin. Look at this dating app thing. That's how they're meeting a lot of these women, on this dating app. Now that it's gotten so bad, like I told you, just last year, 25 men at least. You got to know the key word there is at least, which tells you more than 25 have been unalived. And just in the past 3 months, they're saying, if you just narrow it down to 3 months, if you want to just take a chunk of 3 months, 8 have occurred in just a 3 month short time span. And it's gotten so bad that this passport phenomenon and tragedy has reached the U.S. State Department. That's when you know it's serious, when the U.S. State Department is involved. And they have issued a warning to avoid using dating apps to meet women in foreign countries. Men are being warned not to book Airbnbs and hotels in isolated locations in Mexico and in Colombia. Now, a lot of the passport bros, they're out here saying, well, we just won't go to Colombia anymore. We just won't go to Mexico, blah, blah, blah. But guys, people are being, these men are being unalived in other countries too. I know one was unalived in one of the Asian countries as well. So it's like, these men need to do better. It's not safe. They think they're going to greener pastures. They need to sit down, and they need to have a coming to Jesus. And they need to look within themselves and figure out, why are American women not accepting them? Because going to these other countries thinking you're going to get some easy lay is not resolving the issues. It's prematurely, brutally causing these men to lose their lives. And it's very scary, guys. Now, there's this one blogger. I really like what she had to say. So I wanted to hear her perspective of this tragedy. So I found her on TikTok. So let's see what she had to say.
Had to put out a travel advisory to these dusties. Okay. Now, after this article was released about those passport bros making their way down to Colombia and getting, the United States had to put out a travel advisory to these dusties. Okay. A literal travel advisory to these dusties to not go and meet strangers in foreign countries on dating apps. And shout out to Sandra Rose, this blog that put out this article, because it's an amazing read. So they state in the article, a growing number of men are traveling to foreign countries to meet submissive women who are less expensive and not too demanding. The term, you guys know, is passport bros, first appeared on TikTok, and it references men who use dating apps to hook up with women in other countries. It states below that authorities say that at least 25 passport bros were unalived in Medellin, Colombia in 2023, and 4 Americans were killed in Medellin in November alone. Now, Owens, a 59-year-old passport bro, was gunned down, robbed, and taken for his watch and gold chain, and then his family had to receive his bodies 2 weeks later in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The U.S. State Department helped the family out to cut through the red tape to bring his remains home. You guys have to understand, that's not what the State Department is for, but that is what the State Department will do. Now you can pause this to read the rest of these horror stories, including Johnny Jerome and Philip Mullins. Now again, the U.S. State Department is issuing a warning to avoid using dating apps to meet women in foreign countries, because you could otherwise get yourself. It's crazy. The State Department has to do this. It's a waste of tax dollars to have to warn people to not do this. But again, there's the warning. Now after.
And if you look at the comment here, this person makes a lot of sense. She said, I never understood the mindset behind passport bros. The women overseas expect to be taken care of as well. Exactly. It's all around the world, guys. The submission is actually manipulation. And it's like, I don't think women have issues with submitting. It's the men and how they treat these women, and they don't respect them, and they're very disrespectful. They don't, and so the women are rebelling against them. Okay, they're like, boy, bye. Now look at this. This is crazy. They think they're just, look at this right here. Here's one of these passport bros. It's hilarious. Okay, look at this man, what he posted. He's a passport bro. This is what they want. They want these women that are significantly younger than them, submissive, cook, clean, and everything. But these women have the same expectations that an American woman would have. So I don't understand the difference. I mean, I'm pretty sure women would cook and clean and do all that stuff if they had the same treatment here in America.
Too early for this, y'all. But somebody asked me my thoughts on passport bros, and my position is this. There's a notion that Western men are extremely unhappy with Western women at this time, and that's okay. There's also the notion that these same Western men are going over or wanting to go over to other countries to find love, and that's okay. The only thing that I will point out is, are we considering that these same women in other countries also are raised a certain way? They have certain expectations of their own men, and are we prepared to fulfill that? When we take our Western selves over to other countries to find love or whatever we're doing, are we considering that we can be adequate or sufficient or whatever for this other person? Or do we even care? That would be my only thing that I would bring up. But you know what? You find love where you find it. And, do you, boo-boo?
Now, check out this man's post here. He says, what up, fellas? Clown. Got my queen from the Philippines. She cooked, clean, bakes, 10 years younger. 10 years younger, y'all. No kids, and the sweetest woman I've ever met. Took me renewing my passport less than a month, right? But I'm pretty sure she has the same expectations. She wants that man to provide for her, and she doesn't, have to. She stays at home, cooks and cleans. A lot of these men have issues with that. They want the woman to do 50-50 and all this stuff. So it's like, really, what are you getting? Oh my gosh, guys. But anyways, now it's a phenomenon where at least they're saying 25 passport bros have been unalive last year. 8 have died in the past 3 months. What do you guys think about this? I want to hear from you guys. So let me know in the chat if you have an opinion about this so we can talk about this phenomenon, because it's no joke. It's no joke. These men are dying left and right. And it's very sad. Let's look at this one guy here on the TikTok. They had a video about him. So that was the photo of one of the passport bros. He was a comedian. He was kidnapped, guys. Can you guys hear me? He was kidnapped and murdered in Colombia. Knew women who lured him to death, brother said. So he knew this woman, guys. It's very sad. He knew this woman in Colombia who he met. He was there to see her. He was an American comedian and activist. He was found. He was kidnapped and brutally murdered, y'all. Wow. So the woman that he met is now arrested for allegedly luring him into kidnapping plot, which ended with the comedian's body in a ravine with more than a dozen stab wounds. That is crazy. That was just last year, December 16th. This just happened in December of last year. And here's a photo of him right here. He's an Asian gentleman here, a passport bro. But that is crazy, guys. Oh my God. And the way he died, man. This is not a game. These men are out here being straight targeted. It's a whole organization of organized crime. They're in Thailand, they're everywhere. Let me see if there's any other information on this. This is crazy, guys. It's actually very alarming. They thought that they were going to go to these other countries to meet these submissive women, and they're getting murked. So it's like, is the grass really greener, y'all? Is it? Wow. Let me see if there's any other TikTokers out here that had something to say. But it's very alarming. I'm just like actually shocked. And it's gangs in Colombia too. That's what they're saying. Wow. Another passport bro here. Let's see what this guy had to say. I'm shocked. Sorry, guys, if I'm a little not as wordy. I'm shocked.
By saying, rest in peace to all my fellow passport bros, and big up to all my passport bros who's still here with us.
This man's a clown.
Y'all might not know, except for the ones who know me. I can officially call myself a passport bro.
Clown.
And honestly, I was one before it was a big thing on social media. And I understand the reason why people feel like they got to become passport bros. I mean, I'm going to take me for example. I'm on my third marriage and I'm only 37.
Red
I've
flag.
been married my whole adult life.
Red flag. He's on his third marriage and he still doesn't realize that he's the issue. You're in your third marriage, bro, and you blaming American women. Clearly, you're the problem if you can't sustain a marriage. Third marriage. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys, is that these passport men are delusional. They want to blame the American woman saying, I'm this and that, and I'm on my third marriage. Bro, obviously there's an issue with you. But instead of looking within yourself to change those issues, maybe the choices you're making, maybe the women you're choosing, I don't know. You gonna think you gonna travel out the country. And this man is so delusional. Instead of really waking up and smelling the reality of what's going on here, after 8 men just in 3 months have been unalived, and a total of at least 25 in 2023 alone have been unalived in Colombia. Instead of really being scared straight and trying to look at himself, y'all, he over here still talking about I am officially gonna say I'm a passport bro, and I'm on my third marriage. Boy, bye. Okay. Oh, hi, Yesum. Hi, love. Yesum says, there is apparently something missing in a passport bro's life if they can't appreciate what's in their own backyard. Exactly. There's some toxicity in the Black community. Because notice, most of the passport bros are predominantly in the African-American community. Not in the white community. You don't see in Hispanic. A lot of these men are obviously having some type of values in their community that the Black men are seeming to miss. It's like, seriously, y'all. Because look at what Yesem says. Out of all these women in these countries, they can't find anyone who satisfies them. They can't. In the whole country, in the 50 states, the 50 states and also the U.S. territories, you mean to tell me you can't find one good woman? And this man is on his third marriage. My prime example to you is that they're the issue. He still doesn't realize, bingo, you're the problem. You're on your third marriage, bro. Wake up.
Since I left high school, I've been married. And my first 2 wives were
the average, black, female, in their 20s. And I just want to say this, honestly. I have nothing to say about my ex-2 wives, good nor bad.
Yeah, you don't, bro, because you're the issue. You still have failed to see that whatever toxic issues are inside of you is the reason why you couldn't sustain the marriage. But you want to come and say all black women are the problem, bloop-a-doop-a-doo, and your passport bros are going to these other countries instead of finding submissive women. You're getting murked. You're getting take the heck out of this world. At least the black women aren't out here taking your life. At least you are alive today to speak about the 3 marriages that you weren't able to sustain, my friend. Okay? Because if you was in Colombia, you probably wouldn't be here. I mean, like, these men are still out here thinking this is the best thing since sliced bread after 8 men have been deceased and unalived in just 3 months alone in Colombia. Passport bros.
I've learned things from both situations, good and bad. Was I perfect in either of those situations? No, I'm not even perfect in the marriage I'm in now.
Exactly. You're the problem, bro.
Become perfect, and I would never achieve to be perfect, but every day I strive to be perfect. But I came to the realization that despite me being married my whole adult life, besides a few moments here and there, because in order.
Here's another issue with this passport bro. Did you guys pick up on the red flags? He said he's been married his entire adult life. So he went from marriage to marriage to marriage. This man didn't stop, evaluate the issues within himself, get counseling, work on his issues before he got into the next relationship. No, he took all those issues he had in the first marriage, he carried it on to the next marriage without healing, without getting any type of counseling, reassurance, whatever, then went on to the third marriage. And he wonders why his marriages are failing in America. Then he turns around like a clown and blames the women in America for his issues, his failed marriages. And he thinks he's going to take his baggage looking self, because it looks like his third marriage is about to end. It seems like he's not happy in his third marriage, because that's why he's so bitter, talking about he's going to go to another country now. But he think he going to take all those issues now, guys, get his passport and head to another country and think he going to find Miss Queen Elizabeth with all them issues inside of him. And what he's going to find is he going to bring some woman to America and she going to treat him the same way because there's issues inside of him. That's the problem. You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, and you haven't even healed. He said he was married his entire adult life, which encompasses 3 failed marriages. I'm telling you, that third marriage is on the rocks, the way he talking. He don't even sound happy about the current marriage he's in.
For me to be married multiple times, I have to, be single a few times to be married multiple times. So within the midst of me being in my relationships, and I typically stay married for my first marriage. I was probably married for about 4 or 5 years. My second marriage, I was married for about, I was probably married for about 8, but I was with the person for probably 10, 12 years straight. But known the person for going on 20 years. And the marriage I'm in now, our 3rd year anniversary is this year. So amongst me going through my 3 different main relationships, I've had other relationships in between. And I want to say this, as I got older, I realized that what I needed as a person.
Dang, did y'all hear this? Look at this here. This man is a serial dater. He said he had 3 marriages, right? He's in the 3rd year of his 3rd marriage. And between those marriages, he's had other relationships. How many relationships have you been in, sir? You can't even sit in one relationship. You going from relationship to relationship to relationship. And he sound like he bitter about his current marriage. And he has still failed to see that he's the problem. That is the issue in the Black community. These Black men do not want to look in the mirror. You know that Michael Jackson song? I'm talking to the man in the mirror. Look, you need to look in the mirror, sir. And I'm asking you to change your ways, because that's why your marriages are failing. It's not because you're with an American woman. I mean, this dude is a walking red flag, right? Like Crystal said, dude, you haven't learned anything, have you? It's like, I mean, how many relationships have this man had? He has never been single a day in his life, because as soon as his one relationship ends, he walks right into the next relationship. And he looked like he's miserable in the current relationship. And he's only been married to this woman about to be his 3rd year anniversary. That is just sad. What is wrong with this man that he cannot see that he is the common denominator in all these situations? This man looks like a complete clown, like most of these passport bros.
I could not find here. And I did what all passport bros do. They look outside the borders of the United States. Did I have intentions on looking outside the borders of the United States? No. I did not come into it saying, hey, my next wife is going to be outside the borders of the United States, even though I had a dream that my next wife would be outside the borders of the United States. And
boy,
with that being
I had
said,
a dream. Okay, Martin Luther King.
I just find that in today's time, when it comes to females, that a lot of females don't understand the values of being a wife. A lot of females don't understand the value.
Why is it the female's problem? This is what makes me sick about these men. Why is it the woman's fault? Have you sat to think about a man is supposed to be the head of the household, right? If he has not demonstrated himself as being a leader in that household, why is she going to submit to you? She's not just going to submit to you after you probably don't know how to treat her, don't know how to talk to her, probably don't even bring any income into the household, probably want her to take care of you, and you haven't contributed a dang thing, and you want to blame the woman. Because I'm seeing these same women get involved with these other men of other ethnic groups, and they're submitting and they're being the wife and they're cooking, cleaning, all the things that you're saying these women are not willing to do for you. Like, seriously.
Of being a female, a lot of women has been taught and bred to believe that you don't need a man, or you're independent, or you're better than. And I'm not saying that no one is better than the other one, or no one's higher than the other one in a relationship, but there are roles in a relationship. And when it comes to a relationship, it's firmly grassrooted in all cultures, religions, creeds, colors, races, whatever. The man is the man, the woman is the woman. There's 2 different roles. A man can't do what a woman do, and a woman can't do what a man do. So when we come into a modern day time, you have the woman who wants to take on the role as a man, and you got the man who wants to take on the role as a woman.
Lies. It's not that the women want to take on the role as a man. Sometimes these women are forced into that role because the men refuse to be men. A lot of these men want the woman to pursue them. They want you to call them, chase them. They want you to pay all the bills. A lot of them don't. These men don't have any money. And if they do, they're not the breadwinners. Most of these women are the breadwinner in the household. So when the women are coming with all the money and they're the financial provider, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to automatically shift the roles of power in that household. So it's like this dude around here just complain. And it's like, bruh, what are you doing in that household? Like, I don't get it. Like even Arya says, any man that says females instead of women of ladies big. Okay, wait. So any man that says female instead of women or ladies is a blaring red flag, right? Because that's so true. It's like they don't even respect us women as human beings. They just call us females, like we're some type of dog or something. That's the sad part about these men's mentality. They don't even see you as a human with value. You're a female. That is the most disrespectful label because you're basically simplifying a woman just to her gender. Have you ever heard of a woman talking about these males out here are just not acting right? These males are doing this. No, we refer to them as men. But why is it that these men that are toxic have to call women females? Like what Arya is saying. That's a good point, Arya. Thank you for bringing that up.
And I'm not with that. So most cultures outside the United States, they still hold that value that the man is the man, right, wrong, or indifferent. Because
these men out here and the men in the other countries know how to treat their women. And I'm not saying they always know how to treat their women because some of them are, not the best husbands, but culturally there's certain values within that community that are not demonstrated in the United States. So it's like, oh my God. Like, I wonder what kind of income this man is bringing to the household. He probably broke. He looked like he a dusty. He just looked like he a straight dusty. Like, I wonder what is his job. I want to ask him that. Because a lot of times these men are not bringing anything to the table. They want to come into these households. They're broke, busted, and disgusted. Don't have anything to offer these women. And the women are the breadwinners. They're providing for the household. And they wonder why the power dynamics in that household has been shifted. And I really don't want to listen to this man anymore, y'all. So I think we're going to be done with him because he's going to have me lose my natural mind up in here. Okay? Up in here, he's going to have me getting my feelings, and I don't have time for that. So I was trying to see if there's any other people on TikTok that had something to say about this. And a lot of them are just talking about it. So I think we're going to end it there. It's pretty sad, y'all. It's an open war out here for the passport bros. The passport bros better be very careful, okay? Because they're being hunted like prey in these other countries. I'm going to probably follow up on this later on to find out if there's any other news stories that come across, because it's very sad that these men are losing their life. Like Jewel is saying, the grass is not greener on the other side. It just isn't. Good luck to the passport bros out there who think they're going to find better in these other countries. They just better tread lightly. I'm just saying. They better tread lightly because they are open targets in these other countries. All right, guys, have a lovely Sunday. Let me know what you think about this very controversial topic. Toodaloo!